Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy, and I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the NIV, we are in the book of Numbers, and we are in chapter 21. And the last chapter had the death of Aaron, and the chapter before that, we had the death of, I think it was the chapter before that, or at the beginning of the chapter. Right. The chapter 20 had both Miriam and Aaron. Miriam died at the beginning. Aaron died at the end. Aaron died for his rebellion because they claimed the work of the Lord when they got lippy before Moses struck that rock in front of the Israelite community. Arad destroyed. Chapter 21, verse 1. When the Canaanite king Arad, who had lived in Negev, heard that Israel was coming along the road to Athram, he attacked the Israelites and captured some of them. Then Israel made a vow to the Lord. If you will deliver these people into our hands, we will totally destroy, the Hebrew term for this is irrecoverably, I'm saying that completely wrong, irrecoverably. I'm going to give up on that. Giving things over or persons to the Lord, often totally destroying them. So like burning down everything, totally destroying them. We will totally destroy their cities. The Lord listened to Israel's plea and gave the Canaanites over to them. They completely destroyed them and their towns, so they named that place Hormah. Hormah means destruction. The bronze snake. They traveled from Mount Hor along the route to the Red Sea. That is really Hebrews Yam Suf. Yam Suf. Yeah, okay, there's a Yam Suf, that's really the Sea of Reeds, not really the Red Sea. Those are two different locations. To go around Edom. But the people grew impatient on the way. They spoke against God, against Moses. Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the desert? There is no bread, there is no water, and we detest this miserable food. Then the Lord sent venomous snakes among them. Oh, venomous snakes? I would have been like, I take it back. They bit the people, and many Israelites died. The people came to Moses and said, we sinned. We spoke against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he takes the snakes away from us. So Moses prayed for the people. The Lord said to Moses, make a snake and put it on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it up on a pole. Then anyone who was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, he lived. It's an interesting approach. The journey to Moab. The Israelites moved on and camped at Oboth. They set out from Oboth and camped at Iyeabrim in the desert. That's Iyeabarim, in the desert that faces Moab towards the sunrise. From there, they moved on and camped at Zered Valley. That's Z-E-R-E-D Valley. They set out from there and camped along the Arnon, A-R-N-O-N, which is in the desert extending into Amorite territory. So a different potential person, like peoples to have battle with. The Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. That is why the book of wars of the Lord says, Waheb in Supah, and the ravines, the Arnon, and of the slopes of the ravines. So we got a footnote of E. They say the meaning for this is uncertain, at least at the time of this book's editing, for Supa. And then F, footnote of F is, I have been given from Supa and the ravines of the Arnon. Okay, and then like 2. Okay. That lead to the sites of Ar and lie on the borders of Moab. Like, so they're talking about a property boundary. From there, they continued to Beer, the well where the Lord said to Moses, gather the people together, and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song. Spring up, O well. Like, no, I'm not going to sing it. Spring up, O well, sing about it, about the well that the princes dug, that the nobles of the people sank, the nobles with the scepters and the staff. Then they went into the desert of Mattanah, Mattanah, from Mattanah to Nahaliel, Nahallel, from Nahaliel to Bamoth, Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley in Moab, where the top of Pisgah overlooks the wasteland. Okay, so Bamoth, Bamoth, and then Pisgah is Pisgah. Okay, defeat of Sihon and Og. Israel sent messengers. So verse 21. Israel sent messengers to say to Sihon, Sihon, king of the Amorites, let us pass through your country. We will not turn aside into any field or any vineyard or drink water from any well. We will travel along the king's highway until we have passed through your territory. But Sihon would not let Israel pass through his territory. He mustered his entire army and marched out into the desert against Israel. When he reached Jahaz, Jahaz, he fought with Israel. Israel, however, put him to the sword and took over his land from the Arnon to Jabbok, Jabbok, but only as far as the Amorites, because their border was fortified. Israel captured all the cities of the Amorites and occupied them, including Heshbon and its surrounding settlements. Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and had taken from him all his lands as far as the Arnon. So the people who had come in and captured Moab. Now, also to note, Moab, also from Esau. This is why the poets say, come to Heshbon and let it be rebuilt. The Sihon city be restored. Fire went out from Heshbon, a blaze from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, its citizens of Arnon's heights. Woe to you, O Moab! You are destroyed, O people of Chemosh. Chemosh. He has given up his sons as fugitives and his daughters as captives to Sihon, the king of the Amorites. But we have overthrown them. Heshbon is destroyed all the way to Dibon, Dibon. We have demolished them as far as Nophah, Nophah, which extends to Medeba, Medeba. So Israel settled in the land of Amorites. After Moses had sent spies to Jazer, Jazer, the Israelites captured its surrounding settlements and drove out the Amorites who were there. Then they turned and went up along the road towards Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, and his whole army marched out to meet them in battle at Edrei, Edrei. The Lord said to Moses, "Do not be afraid of him, for I have handed him over to you and his whole army and his land. Do to him what you did to Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon." So they struck him down together with his sons and his whole army, leaving no survivors, and they took possession of his land. So, battle formations, like sort of like battle droid Israel is assembled, the conquering is afoot. Until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy, and I am an ordained minister. We are in Bible study, and we are in the Niv. We are in the book of Numbers, and we are in chapter 22. Balak summons Balaam. Then the Israelites traveled to the plains of Moab and camped along the Jordan across from the Jericho. Hebrew Jordan of Jericho, possibly an ancient name for the Jordan River. Yes, I do believe that. Now Balak, son of Zippor, Zippor, saw all that the Israelites had done to the Amorites, and Moab was terrified because there were so many people. Indeed, Moab was filled with dread because of the Israelites. Because remember, 1 million people. So if the Moabites only had so many people and they weren't as mighty, I could see why they might be afraid. The Moabites said to the elders of Midian, Midian, "This horde is going to lick up everything around us, as an ox licks up the grass of the field." So Balak, son of Zippor, who was the king of Moab at the time, sent messengers to summon Balaam, son of Beor, Beor, who was at Pethor, Pethor, near the river. And then B, that is the Euphrates, in his native land. Balak said, "A people has come out of Egypt. They cover the face of the land and have settled next to me. Now come and put a curse on these people, because they are too powerful for me. Perhaps then I will be able to defeat them and drive them out of the country. For I know that those you bless are blessed, and those you curse are cursed." Now, we're going to have an interesting interaction here. So again, Moabites, children of Esau, also covered. Okay? Jacob and Esau were brothers. So, like, his father, these people's, ancestors' God is the same God. It's the living God. It's God, the God. Okay? So this is sort of where you're not paying attention to what you were taught. The elders of Moab and Midian left, taking with them the fee for divination. When they came to Balaam, they told him what Balak had said. "Spend the night here," Balaam said to them, "and I will bring you back the answer the Lord gives me." Okay? And he does mean the Lord. Like an archist, a Christian. Jesus is the Lord. But the Lord, our God, the living God, God the Father, that Lord. At the time that we're here, the only Lord, because Jesus will not be born for quite a long time. So the Moabite princes stayed with him. God came to Balaam and asked, Who are these men with you? So just stop for a second. Not some other name, not some other deity, not some other stuff. That Balaam has got a communication directly with God in a similar way that Moses or Aaron or Miriam or any, like maybe not as strong as Moses, but of a similar type. So he's mentally, as of this moment, he's a prophet of the Lord because he can hear him. God talks to him directly. Balaam said to God, Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent me this message. A people has come out of Egypt, covers the face of the land. Now come out and put a curse on them. Perhaps then I will be able to drive them, fight them, and drive them away. But God said to Balaam, do not go with them. You must not put a curse on those people because they are blessed. Okay. Then the next morning, Balaam got up and said to Balak's princes, go back to your own country, for the Lord has refused to let me go with you. So it's like, okay, good boy. So the Moabite princes returned to Balak and said, Balaam refused to go with us. Then Balak sent out other princes, more numerous and more distinguished than the first. They came to Balaam and said, this is what Balak, son of Zippor, says. Do not let anything keep you from coming to me, because I will reward you handsomely and do whatever you say. Come and put a curse on these people. But Balaam answered him, even if Balak gave me his palace filled with silver and gold, I could not do anything great or small to go beyond the command of the Lord my God. So good boy. Now stay here tonight, as the others did, and I will find out what else the Lord will tell me. That night God came to Balaam and said, since these men have come to summons you, go with them, but do only what I tell you. Balaam's donkey. Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the princes to Moab. But God was very angry when he went. So it's sort of like, but he said, didn't he just say you can go with them? Yes, but the other one, he told them they couldn't go with them. And it's like, it doesn't matter if they come back and ask again. He was supposed to send him away. Think of it as like a test. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, she turned off the road and into a field. Balaam beat her to get her back onto the road. Poor donkey. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path between 2 vineyards with a wall on both sides. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she pressed close to the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against it, because she's trying to move around the angel. this is a poor donkey. So he beat her again, of course, because she crushed his foot. Then the angel of the Lord moved on ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn either right or left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she laid down under Balaam, and he was angry and beat her with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and she said to Balaam, what have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times? It's like, dude, what's your problem? Balaam answered the donkey, you have made a fool of me. If I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now. So think about this. He has to be so angry in his hitting of this donkey that the donkey starts talking to him, and he doesn't stop and go, did that donkey just talk? I don't know about you, but my first reaction would be, did that donkey just, wait a minute. Who said that? And I'd start be looking for some kind of answer. But his answer is, you have made a fool of me. The donkey said to Balaam, am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden to this day? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you? No, he said. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes. The donkey could see what Balaam couldn't. So your perception that sometimes animals can see what we can't. Valid, at least according to this passage of the Bible. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with his sword drawn. So he bowed low and fell face down. The angel of the Lord asked, why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? I have come here to oppose you because your path is a reckless one before me. The meaning for this in Hebrew, for this clause, is uncertain. Okay. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. So the angel's advocating for the donkey. Why did you beat this animal? If she had not turned away, I would have certainly killed you by now. But I would have spared her. I would have killed you, but I would have kept the donkey safe. Not the donkey's fault that you're not listening. Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned. I did not realize you were standing in the road to oppose me. Now if you are displeased, I will go back. The angel of the Lord said to Balaam, go with the men, but speak only what I tell you. So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. When Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the Moabite town on the Arnon border, at the edge of his territory. Balak said to Balaam, did I not send you an urgent summons? Why didn't you come to me? Am I not really able to reward you? Well, I have come to you now, Balaam replied. But can I say just anything? I must only speak what God puts in my mouth. And that very consistent with the prophet of the Lord kind of attitude. And I do like how I feel almost like maybe Balaam used to be able to see the angels, because the angels certainly seemed to think that Balaam should be able to see it and couldn't understand. Right? And they got mad for the donkey. Then Balaam went with Balak to Kirath Huzoth. So Kirath Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep, and then gave some to Balaam and the princes who were with him. The next morning, Balak took Balaam up Bamoth Baal, or Bamoth Baal. Just not so fantastic. Bamoth. Baal. Baal. Okay. Baal is, well, actually, what it means is Lord in one of the languages, but it's also a name in the Old Testament that gets used a lot to refer to a particular, like, demon. Like there's a demon couple, Baal and Ashtoreth. They require you to put your children over the fire. And the Lord is not happy with them. And from there, he saw part of the people. So now we've got Balaam up on this rock, or this hilltop on this Moabite area. Remember, Moabites also covered under the blessing of Abraham. And he's looking down on the people. But he can't say anything except what the angel of the Lord tells him, or he'll die. So, no pressure or anything. Until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in Bible study. We are in the NIV. Yep, still, and we will be into next year. For those who seem to have a conniption fit over that, in 2026 we will start the KJV, and we will start doing comparison language between one Bible and the other, because that is part of what I want you to do. See, part of the reason that I even have this channel, and I'm even doing this part right here on this channel, is because when I was a little girl, I said I wanted to read all the different versions of the Bible that I could. Because my parents weren't particularly religious. I was indeed, christened as an infant, all things in tradition kind of thing. But my parents, we moved around a lot, and my parents, they got upset by a particular minister. And I'm not saying that it was unwarranted. It was. But I, as a result, they didn't go to church, so I found my way to church. So from a young age, I was not introduced to Christianity from just one version of the Bible. So I started, because I've got OCD, and I notice patterns, because my brain is wired to notice patterns, and I've just managed to find professions that, they like that quality in me. So it's beautiful. I have a place for an outlet for it that's nice and healthy, because I even get paid for it. And then a time in the personal life when to pull it back and keep it in balance instead. So I appreciate those gifts from God that He's given me. But it did also make me want to, why are there so many different versions? What's the wording changes? That didn't sound like this one sounded over there. Because for me, it could be, we moved from one town to another town, because we moved a lot when I was a kid. And I could have been in 1 week reading from one version of the Bible, and in another week reading from a different version of the Bible, but because they're different churches, be going over the exact same text. So we will eventually get into comparison language. We started with the NIV, which apparently is the least popular version, based upon the number of comments I get just from the title. They're not watching. They're just commenting on the title mostly. So, we are in the book of Luke. So we are almost done playing catch up. This is because Luke chapter 1 is long. It's 80 verses. We are going to do 1 through, I had decided, 38 in this one video. And in the next one, we are going to do, we're going to do 1 through 23 in this video. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do 26 through 56 in the next video. So let's get started. We're in the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 1. Introduction. Many have undertaken to draw up an account of the things that have been fulfilled. Been surely believed among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who were the first eyewitnesses and servants of the word, so the apostles. Therefore, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, it seemed also to me to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilos. I guess that's who was asking and collating. Because remember, the Bible as we know it now, did not exist for hundreds of years. So everything was done by word of mouth, and everything was done by, here is a letter, copy it down, write it, be a scribe, write it down, and then mail it to the next church. So you can see how the devil could slip in there pretty easily. Verse 4. So that you may know the certainty of the things you've been taught. So so Luke was like, all right, you guys want the stories. Okay. Let me sit down and write the stories. You're right. It's a good idea for us to all write down the stories, because if you don't hear it from the eyewitnesses, how will you remember? This is because this is the creation. This is what they saw that made them believe Jesus was the Messiah, and believe it so much that after his death, they proceeded to create the religion that we call Christianity. Or at least the belief system, because religion is more like Catholic versus Methodist, not even Protestant, because Protestant is a group of people who don't believe the Catholic Church and their teachings, but they're still Christian. Now, the Catholic Church will argue that because they don't believe what the Catholic Church is, that they're not Christian. The Greek Orthodox Church, which the Catholic Church does recognize as Christian, would argue that the Roman Catholic Church is not Christian, and they don't recognize them. So it's going on everywhere. It's not a new thing, and that schism happened back in, I think it was 1000 or something, over bread. Yeah. Should the communion wafers be wafers, like the Catholic Church uses, or risen bread, which is what the Greek Orthodox Church says this should be. So, people, right? Religions involve people. Christianity is the belief system that Jesus Christ is the Son of the living God. He died, and on the third day he rose again in fulfillment of the Scriptures. He is the Messiah. Now, for me, he is my Messiah, and that makes me unpossessable. That's a beautiful thing. That's one of my favorite things about, believing that Jesus is my Messiah, is that Satan has to go kick rocks. I don't have to care what he likes, or what he's up to, or what he's doing, or what any of the other people are doing, which is great, because I don't want to be around those people anyway. The birth of John the Baptist foretold. Verse 5. In the time of Herod, king of Judah, the puppet king, there was a priest named Zechariah, who belonged to the priestly division of Abijah. His wife Elizabeth was also a descendant of Aaron. So they're just telling you they're of the Levitical tribe, like me. Both of them were upright in the sight of God, observing the Lord's commandments and regulations blamelessly. But they had no children, because Elizabeth was barren. And they were both well along in years. Now, given the time frame, we're going to have a different opinion of along in years from them. Right? It was easier to die the further you get back in time. There really isn't a period in history in which humanity was better off than it is right now. People want to say that it was. They're not really. Not really. Actually, you have a better chance of surviving now than you ever would have if you lived in any of those other times. People who think they want to go back to that place, they think they're going to get some perceived power that they're lacking now. It's not really the case. If you're poor now, you would have been poor then. And if you were poor then, they didn't care about you anymore than they care about you now when you're poor. Leaders have never really cared about poor people. They're supposed to. It's in here. Some good leaders did. It's in the commandments. It's even in the Old Testament. There's a lot of stuff in there. If there's a lot of poor people in an area, it usually is because either there's a lack of resources, there's a lack of stuff. Often, though, it's about bad leadership in that area, because they're not improving anything about the area to make it more economically fortunate. Leaders are the ones who are actually responsible for whether or not their areas thrive. So how the poor are treated in their area and how poor the poor are and how well the poor are taken care of is actually the measure of a good leader according to the Bible. So when it all costs and we don't care what happens to the poor people and we're only going to take care of the rich, not a Christian. Hospitality is required. Once when Zachariah's division was on duty and he was serving as a priest before God, he was chosen by lot, according to the custom of the priesthood, to go into the temple of the Lord and burn incense. You got to be careful with that, right? Because in the Old Testament, they had a lot of talk about burning incense to people, not just God. That's why they got themselves in exile. So hopefully just incense to the Lord and not to any of the rest of the pantheon that they were also worshiping in the temple in Jerusalem, in the Old Testament. And when the time for burning of the incense came, all the assembled worshipers were praying outside. Then an angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing by the right side of the altar of incense. When Zachariah saw him, he was startled and he was gripped with fear. Well, yeah, they tend to have that effect. Most people seem to have that response to the appearance of the angels. So however they look, usually described as very tall and bronze in color. So I find it surprising. I would have thought blue. But okay. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife, Elizabeth, will bear you a son, and you are to give him the name John. He will be a joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth. For he will be great in the sight of the Lord. He is to never take wine or fermented drink, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit even from birth, or from his mother's womb." Not drinking is part of a Nazirite vow. You'd have to go look up the rules that Samson was supposed to follow. That's a quick Google search for you if you don't know what that means. Okay. Many people of Israel he will bring back to the Lord their God. And he will go on before the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah, which is really huge deal for a Levitical priest to be told. Like just the appearance of an angel, of course, is going to be a big deal for everybody. But for the appearance of a priest to be told, we love you so much, we think you're so good, we're going to let you be the dad of Elijah reincarnated. I'm sorry, what? That's that kind of reaction that you would get from them. Because for them, there is no Jesus yet. He's not born yet. So the Messiah hasn't been born yet. So the rebirth of the prophet is the coming of the Messiah in accordance to the scriptures, which he would have been versed in because he was a Levitical priest. Being versed in that was his job. Wow. And he will go on before the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the righteous, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. Zechariah asked the angel, "How can I be sure of this? I am an old man, and my wife is well along in years." Whew. Okay, so an angel shows up before you. He's giving you a set of instructions, and you're asking for proof. The angel answered, "I am Gabriel." Whew. That's the Archangel of Hope. That's how we lit the candle. We lit the candle for Advent last week. That's who that is. That is who he sent to talk to, so the wise men and the star and the angel went to talk to the shepherds. If you're like me and you have an angel on top of your tree, because you could have a star too. I mean, lots of people have one or the other. I have an angel. I mean, legitimately, the angel looks like Tweety Bird, but it's wearing wings and the thing for the person that it's supposed to be. That's Gabriel. I also find that amusing because Gabriel, he's a messenger, and for years, on my cell phone, my notification for tweets was actually Tweety Bird saying, "What's this? A letter for me?" So, he's a messenger. The angel answered, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to tell you this good news. And now you will be silent and not be able to speak until this day happens, because you did not believe my words, which will come true at their proper time." Yeah. So if an angel of the Lord appears to you, do not start questioning those types of things, because if you're just like, "I pray to God that happens," if it sounds like something you would like. If it is the will of God, would also be a proper response. Because then if it's not, it just wouldn't happen. And then you don't have to worry about it. Meanwhile, because otherwise you're just being arrogant. Meanwhile, the people were waiting for Zechariah and wondering why he stayed so long in the temple. When he came out, he could not speak to them. They realized he had seen a vision in the temple, for he kept making signs for them, but remained unable to speak. So he's trying to pantomime what happened. When his time of service was completed, he returned home. After this, his wife Elizabeth became pregnant, and for 5 months remained in seclusion. "The Lord has done this for me," she said. "In these days he has shown his favor and taken away my disgrace amongst the people." Being a barren woman in a society that values be fruitful and multiply is going to be a hard thing. And it's a thing we're even still shaking in today's society. You can't properly be a woman unless you've had children. It's just nonsense. That's not what makes one a woman. You don't have to be a mother to be a good woman. And there's a lot of people who actually have children that we would quantify not as good people, unfortunately, for this world. Because it's about the content and character in one's heart, and what makes one happy, and also what you're ready for. One actually has to be emotionally ready for children. Because if you're doing it properly, and I don't have any children, so properly, you can take this with a giant bucket of salt, because I have no children. To love anybody, so not just properly as a parent or anything, but interactions with other people, which children are just of one demographic of people. You actually have to care about the experience the people around you are having when they're interacting with you, the effect that you have on them. So you do indeed need to be emotionally ready for children. How you're going to respond when they're not going to be so, because you can't reason with an infant. They're screaming and you have to figure out what they want. You got to be prepared for that. Because it's going to happen. They don't have any, it's not like they can be like, "Excuse me, parent, I would prefer if you changed my diaper in this moment because I don't like this feeling." Like, that's not, they can't articulate like that. They don't know those words. Right? So you have to be emotionally prepared to be the cry interpreter without becoming abusive in your frustration. Right? So you do actually have to be emotionally prepared. So for her, though, she's getting two different things going on here. She's getting a baby, and she's getting a husband who can't talk the entire time she's pregnant. because he's going to have to be silent for the whole time until the baby's born. In fact, as we find out a little bit later than that. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy, and I'm an ordained minister. We are in Bible study. We are in the Niv. We are in Psalms Book 2, Psalm 57. And we're going to do the whole psalm. For the director of music, to the tune of Do Not Destroy, of David and Michtam, when he had fled from Saul into the cave. Have mercy on me, O God. Have mercy on me. For in you my soul takes refuge. I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster has passed. I cry out to you, God Most High, to God who fulfills his purpose for me. He sends from heaven and saves me, rebuking those who hotly pursue me. Selah. God sends his love and his faithfulness. I am in the midst of lions. I lie among the ravenous beasts, men whose teeth are spears and arrows, whose tongues are sharp swords. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. They spread a net for my feet. I was bowed down in distress. They dug a pit in my path, but they have fallen into it themselves. Selah. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and make music. Awake, my soul. Awake, harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing of you among the peoples. For great is your love, reaching to the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. And amen to that. Until the next video, friends.